What's going on, guys? Country Boys and Catfish. Back in the laboratory, should I say. Picked up several reels over the past, I don't know, month and a half. And I've been buying them relatively cheap because a lot of people don't know or can't do or won't do the maintenance, the oiling, the cleaning, and all that's required on these reels. So they get tight, they won't throw. People just kind of, oh, I'll just go buy new ones. So old Country Boy's there to swoop them up. So today we're going to do a disassembly, cleaning, and just check everything out on the inside and make sure it's good to go. And then we're going to mount it on a rod, and we're going to take advantage of other people's ignorance, I guess, or laziness. But today we have got a Garcia 6000. Ain't nothing fancy, it's a nice reel, kind of clean looking, but it's not in the best shape as far as oiling and greasing. So I'm gonna disassemble it and go step by step of what I do on these. I'm gonna do it on all of them, but just different sizes, and that way if you got a question, or maybe you took it apart and you need to see where a screw goes, maybe this will help you out. Or maybe if you just need to maintain your 6000, watch this video and see how I do it. Okay, to start with, this is my normal go-to on cleaning, just as far as cleaning, not oiling, but just kind of getting all the gunk built up out of there. Well, for some reason I cannot find this and I'm out. So we're going to toss that can, and I picked up this cheap stuff from Walmart. It's basically the same. It's kind of like WD-40, maybe some kind of lubricant, but we're going to give it a try and see how it works out. And if it does, I'll let you know how good it works out. But as far as the oiling, I still use my Precision Garcia oil and the H2O Express oil. I really love those two for different applications, and you'll see in the video where I put them, and I'll explain why I put them there. Alright, so let's get started. First thing you want to do, I've got this old, I think it was an ice cream lid. It's a gallon, but I keep all my old oil in there just to kind of dip my wife's toothbrush in. I stole my wife's toothbrush to clean reels, but she don't mind. But anyway, and that's just some of the little things I use. But let's get into this reel, because this is kind of going to be a long video, but I hope this helps y'all guys out. Alright, first thing, anything that snaps on, anything like that, I go ahead and get rid of it and get down to brass tacks here. Alright. And the easiest way, if you're new at this and you haven't watched my rebuild on the 7000 I done, what I do is I'll take and I'll lay it out, which I don't have to do this, but I do it for the sake of the videos to try to help people out, and I'll do it. I'll put it in order, like that come off first, so I lay it first. Okay. Then you got your C-clip right there. And all these don't have them little C-clips on them, but this one just happens to. And just kind of lay everything in order it comes off. That way you can say, well, this goes next, then this, then this. It's pretty simple. And see, a lot of people, somebody's messed with this reel before, because that shouldn't be that tight. So bear with me one moment, guys, while I run over here and get a pair of pliers. That should never never be that tight. Just slightly snug. You should never have to have a pair of pliers to get it off. And so you just kind of lay it as you go, and you'll know. And this it's kind of important to remember, lay that with the bow side up like that. And so you just lay everything in order. And that's how I learned to do it. I don't necessarily have to do that now because I've been doing this 20 plus years. But if you'll do that, it'll really help you a lot. Okay, now that we got all that out of the way, let's look at this gunk buildup in this reel. Now, you know, I bought them cheap because they're gummed up, but look at this. I mean, see all that gunk? What do you think that's going to do to the reel? Yeah. So, but like I say, if you can get these things cheap enough and take just a little bit of time and clean them, I mean, you know, it's a $125 reel. You can pick it up for 30 or 40 bucks. Most of the time on Facebook, you can pick them up relatively cheap because people just don't know how to do the maintenance or won't do it. And, you know, you can have yourself a decent reel because they're good reels. They hardly ever tear up. But it's just the maintenance. See that? I don't know how good you can see that, but it's just... Sand is dirt and sand and grit is a Garcia's worst nightmare. So... I mean, that's the first thing that happens. And I always check I don't like the plastic ones. I like the cork ones. The stoppers, I like to call them. But I just like to check everything, make sure nothing's scarred. Because most people, they catch a fish, and what happens? The reel goes straight in the dirt. And I love it when that happens because that reel goes in the dirt a couple times. I find it on Facebook for 30 bucks. So, but you know, everything looks, it's a relatively nice reel as far as, I mean, it's not bad gummed up, but it's still, it's nasty. Gosh, nasty. But I don't try to take apart both sides at one time. Do one side, then do the other side. It's just something, it's just a preference of mine. It's just what I do. Let me put this back over there in the camera so y'all can see what I'm doing here. See this? This is the, let me make sure that keeps. This is the stuff. I'm gonna turn that light on that camera. Maybe that'll help you see a little better, but this stuff right here, that's the stuff you want to avoid. It's after, you know, a few months after purchasing them, they get real gummed up, sticky. I mean, look, you don't want that in your reel. I don't even know what the heck that was, but they get gummed up. Look at that. I mean, it just. And then this right here is what really gets a lot of people. This is your drag setup. Your drag washers is in here. I'm just going to take a peek at a couple of them and see how they look since I got it open, and if they need replaced, I'll replace them. It looks pretty good. Yeah, them drag washers look really good. Okay. I just always try to check them while I'm in there, but you can see. I mean, I'll say this 1,000 times, but you can see the nastiness in there. So what I do, and like I say, I'm hoping this cheap stuff here will work. I really like the Remington Gun Oil for this purpose because it cleans and oils, and then on top of, you know, my Garcia oil. I just really like that stuff, and for some reason I couldn't find it, so I had to go with something a little different. So we're gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna bring my old nasty jug over here. We're just gonna kind of spray this stuff down. Just kind of get it good and saturated. And then I just always take my toothbrush and kind of dip it in that oil and just scrub all that crud off. Just anything that's gummy. Just kind of basically taking it back to the metal. And see, some people that does the real cleanings, I do it. I kind of enjoy doing it. Some people that do it for money, so to speak, they like taking like I've seen guys take like brake cleaner and stuff like that and just spray it on there. And yeah, I mean, it takes the crud off, but it's drying everything out. And with using something like lubricant, gun oil, stuff like that, you're breaking up the old grease, but you're not stripping oil off of it. You're leaving oil on it, so it just kind of helps it, in my opinion. And this bearing here is very, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of, right there, there's a bearing. And it's kind of critical. A lot of people like changing those. But for a boat application, this, I mean, it's like fucking tar. So, but anyway, for a boat application, I don't need to throw. So I'm not going to waste money putting them ceramic bearings in it. I really don't think that you can, that it throws any different. I mean, It's a little smoother, but I really don't think you get. And I know I'm gonna catch shit for saying this, but I think ceramic bearings is a waste of money. I mean, you take a brand new Garcia out of the box that's new, and it throws really good. But I just don't see no need in putting them high dollar ceramic bearings. I mean, yeah, it kind of they use them a lot in the carp world because it throws a little smoother. But I really don't care how it throws. See, now it's all clean. Well, this is right there. And so you just want to get all the crud out of it. I'm kind of limited on light here. And then once you get it scrubbed, just kind of give it like a rinse with the oil. And like I said, I just keep this old tub. My oil falls down in it. And then I can always dip my toothbrush in there while I'm cleaning and scrub some more out. Now that's good and clean. And see, it's still nice and clean, but it's also got like an oil coating on it. So you're not stripping it off like the people that use the brake cleaner and the carb cleaner, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, the brake cleaner works really, really good, but and also when you use it, your Garcia stickers, it peels the black right off of it. I had a set of rockets that I bought. I'm not going to say where I took them to, but I took them to have them lined and cleaned because I just didn't have time to do it. I mean, I can do it, obviously, but I took them and had them cleaned, and they used, I don't know what they used. I'm assuming brake cleaner, carb cleaner, or something like that, because I got it whenever I got them back. All my stickers right there was just nothing but chrome sticker. All the writing was gone off of it. So wasn't too happy about that. So I mean, you can replace those, and they're not cheap to replace them stickers. But I replaced them because I like my stuff to be kind of nice. Okay, this side's finished, and now you don't really want to put a lot of oil on your drag. You want them to stay kind of dry. So we're just going to put all this back together. Okay, now that's done. I got oil everywhere. Alright, now this, I like to have this little flat here because I like really get into detail on these gears and stuff. So, now, like I say, you just soak it down real good. And just give it a scrub. Like I say, guys, this stuff ain't hard. It ain't rocket science. And I guess the reason I learned how to do it is just something my daddy always taught me. If you're going to drive a car, you should be able to fix a car. If you're going to fish, you got to know how to clean the fish. You got to know how to take care of your gear. Don't give another man the money that you can save. And I have done several reels for people, and I'm telling you, I enjoy doing it, but you know, just a quick cleaning You know, that's 25 bucks. And if you're like me and, you know, you got 649 reels at $25 a pop, that gets high. So I just kind of take care of my own and clean my own. And then when I get done scrubbing this, I've done moved my big jug off camera because it's kind of hard for me to hold it up here and do it, and y'all really can't see. So I'll just take, that's pretty clean now. And I'll just take and I'll put this over my jug, spray it off real good, make sure there ain't no dirt or grit in there, and that'll be done. Alright, now that's done. Okay, what we're going to do, and like I said, this is for people that don't really know how to do it. One side at a time, one step at a time. Just take and just put this back together. And like I said, just take your time and put it back together. Okay, now that side's done, but see how the oil's just kind of dripping off of it? What we're going to do is set that to the side. Just kind of let that oil sit on there. It's not going to hurt anything. And then you move on to the next part. And this side ain't as complex as the other side. So it's actually pretty simple. It's not that bad, but you can see the sand that's built up in it. Get it close up. See all that sand, dirt, grit. And this reel has actually been taken care of, half-assed, but it hadn't been oiled and greased and all that mess. So anyway, we just kind of, that's your clicker in case you're wondering. So we just kind of give her a little scrub. Clean the gear off real good, make sure there ain't no grit and grime. And guys, I think that stuff right there, here's a slipper. This old cheap Walmart stuff, I think it's gonna do all right. I'll know when I put it back together. Just rinse it out. And it's nice and shiny and clean. No grit, no grime, no dirt. Put our clicker back in there. And clickers are, I think they're overrated. A lot of people, oh, I want reels with bait clickers. Being a boat fisherman, it really don't matter to me. Sometimes they're nice. I don't have to have them. But and this is your backbone right here of your reel. Okay, this is, a lot of people really don't know how to take the level wind off and stuff. So just flip that little tab up and pull it off. Set it to the side. And that's all there is to it. And then once you get it like that, some people do it different, but I just turn that gear. And it's a good thing whenever you get this apart, right here, you'll have this come out. If I can get that camera to focus on it. Kind of hard. There it is. That right there is about wore out. It's got a little bit of life left in it. We're going to go with it. I'm not going to replace it till it's broke. So just give it a little buff in there. And there's your worm gear. Just kind of make sure there ain't no grit or grime in there. And like I say, after I scrub everything, you can't see it, but I'm just spraying it off camera, make sure there ain't no grit or grime left in it. I mean, this will make your reels a whole new reel, that's for sure. I mean, it kind of brings them alive. And then I just take my, and this right here is a critical part as well. If I can turn it where you can really see it. Right here, that's where your level line, this right here, rides in that. Like that. So you want to make sure there ain't nothing in there as you're cleaning. You just kind of go over it and knock all the dirt out of it. Like I say, sand, grit, grime, that's a Garcia's worst nightmare. I mean, they're good reels, but they just can't stand up to the sand and dirt. They just really can't. And then I just take a rag and wipe it off. And then the reverse process, putting everything back together. And like I said, guys, it's just like you took it apart. And if you do it like that, if you put it back together like you took it apart, you'll be doing this by yourself in no time. You'll be able to do it like me in your sleep. And this right here just kind of lines up with your worm gear. Just kind of wiggle it and you'll feel it snap in there. Just turn it, and if it starts moving like it, you'll know you've done it right. Okay, she's ready to go. And just put that back on. See, a lot of people want to tighten their stuff up real tight. I don't. I just snug everything and then smooth as silk. Kind of got ahead of myself putting that back together, but that ain't no big deal. That's my fault, guys. I kind of got ahead of myself on that one. And make sure they can go one of two ways. You want the worm gear facing the back of the reel. Make sure it seats in right there in that little groove. Make sure it seats in over there. And that's that. All right, now that looks pretty good. All right, now it's just the fun part, putting everything back together. Excuse me, just gonna take my throat. I just got off of work after 10 hours. I'm getting behind on my reels, so I figured I'd bring y'all along for a cleaning. So we know the gear. Sorry about that, guys. My camera wanted to say night before I did. So, back to the task at hand. Now that we know this is working correctly, we can put screws in it. I know this is a long video, guys, but I wish there was a faster way, but it actually don't take but about 15 minutes for me to do a reel. But just having to explain everything, it just takes a little longer. Okay, that's ready to go. Alright, that part's done. Now, on these parts, I'm really not worried too much about oil, but that one is kind of caked up on the inside, so I'm going to give it a little once around. Just get the nastiness off of it. drop this back down on it. Just make sure you don't your plastic pieces. Like I say, I like the cork ones, but I mean, there ain't no sense in changing them out. If it's working, it's working, you know. And like I say, guys, you don't have to tighten these things super tight. I try to refrain from using pliers on fishing reels, if you know what I mean. Alright. And see, now if you'll watch, I just go right back. And that can be tricky. You just kind of grab the end of it. And just kind of hold on to it just a little bit. And try not to let it slip off like I just did, because it'll mess your threads up. And just kind of wipe everything. The exterior isn't really such an issue like the interior is, but I still, you know, you keep stuff clean, it'll last a while. Like I say, everything just goes back the exact same way you took it off, and if you lay everything in a row, it never fails to go back like it was. Now these little things, sometimes they can be kind of tricky, but I just kind of put them on there like that. Just take me a little screwdriver and just press it on there. Sometimes if you don't get it on there and then you go to push, well, you're gonna have to buy another one, because you'll never find that little rascal. So, and sometimes that won't line up. So what you got to do is kind of turn it a little bit, and it'll put that nut exactly where it needs to be. Things so slippery now, I can't hardly hold on to it. And then after it's all said and done, I kind of give it a shake. And then I'll take my rag. These microfiber rags work really good for this. And just wipe all the oil off. And I'll show you one more thing before I'm done. I'll take this oil here, and that builds up a lot of grit in it. And spin that, so them spinning freely. Got ahead of myself and didn't even put no oil in them bearings. That lubricant right there, that's pretty slick stuff. I like it. Just kind of give her a couple of drops down in there. I'll put it right there where your brake adjustment is. And I really like to be very generous right in here with the oil. Anywhere there's moving. And just kind of work it. And look at that. I mean, she's slick as a button. and I would let it set just overnight or whatever. That way all the oil drips out of it, excess oil and stuff. Like I say, I just leave them on these microfiber rags, and it really does, you know, it kind of soaks up all the oil out of the reel, and you don't have a big mess. So guys, that concludes my complete rebuild of a, well, not a rebuild, but just a cleaning of a Abu Garcia 6000. I hope this helps someone out. If it helps you out, give me a thumb up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs up anyway. I will be doing some more reels. I've got 5,000s, I've got 500s, 5500s. I've got, this one's going to be my next one, the 5000 TGC. I picked it up. It's really, really stiff, so I hate to see the inside of this thing, but this one's going to be my next one. If you want to see a different reel, give me a shout out in the comments, and I will put one on the table for you. I hope this video helps someone out. If I've helped one person save a Garcia reel, then I've done my job. Alright guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up in this video. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.